Hello ladies and gentlemen, Gear12 here bringing you another Minecraft World War II vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the Type 98 20mm AAG tank. The Type 98 20mm AAG anti-air gun tank was a Japanese self-propelled anti-aircraft gun using a twin Sokai Type 2 20mm anti-aircraft gun. They were combined with the chassis of the Type 98 Key-Knee. The gun crew worked from a raised platform with a modest amount of protection from the sides. The twin 20mm gun fired through a large gun shield, which gave further protection for the crew from that direction. In November 1941, development began on an anti-aircraft version of the Type 98 with a 20mm AA gun. During development of the AA gun, the Imperial Japanese Army experimented with various configurations. And obviously here the Shokai was the basically the version that they decided to go with. There was also a single gun version that was also created as well, known as the Type 98 Tase, but the main version that we see here is the main production model with the twin 20mm guns. So overall, it's a pretty interesting build and should be a pretty cool one to add to your Japanese, militaries. We do have a small number of Japanese tanks, mainly some of the well-known ones. But this one here is our first ever self-propelled anti-aircraft vehicle for the Japanese Empire, so that's also really cool to add into our ground vehicle section. Without further ado, let's go ahead and move in here to take a quick look at the Type 98 Sokai and see exactly what we're building. So again, to start with, we have the base of the tank. As I mentioned, this is built off the Type 98 Key-Knee chassis, so it's basically built on that chassis there. Pretty straightforward, road wheels, your tracks, very small chassis like most Japanese tanks, and that's pretty much the chassis. Really straightforward and simple. Your main difference here is going to be the platform that they created to go ahead and mount the anti-aircraft guns. You do have your driver's viewport located up here in the front, but other than that, you have this platform that's fully exposed on the outside. You have your two twin 20mm guns with the gun shield. We also have the sights there and the gunner's seat right here. Obviously the mechanisms and control to be able to elevate and move the guns around as needed. And we obviously have a platform here that is basically designed to either fold down to kind of give more room for the crew, or to fold up to offer a little bit more protection. So that's kind of designed there. And you have all your ammo that's stored directly behind the anti-aircraft gun. But overall, pretty cool looking build. Should make it, again, as I mentioned, a good addition to any of your Japanese worlds. And with that, let's go ahead and move into our first layer, layer number 1. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our first layer here of the build, we will be going ahead and start with layer 1. For layer 1 to go ahead and get started with here, we'll be going ahead and set up our tracks. First thing we want to do here is we're going to place down another brick upside down stair. And then behind the stair, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 grindstones. That'll be coming off each other like this. Now the grindstones coming off each other like this is going to be more of a Java type feature. If you're not on Java, you can go ahead and very simply just have your grindstones in a row. However, for us, we can go ahead and put them sideways like that, connected to each other, which really helps with our wheel spacing and kind of being a little bit more accurate. So that's what we're going to do here for Java. Again, do the other technique if you are not on Java. And we're just going to go ahead and do this a total of 3 times, so you should have a total of 6 of these wheels. On the back here, we're going to go ahead and then place down another brick slab, like so. And then we're going to place down a dark oak top slab. That's going to come off that slab. And then we're going to go ahead and leave that as is for right now. Now underneath these grindstones, we do need to go ahead and add our track. For this, we're going to go ahead and break the blocks in the ground and place down another brick. 4 blocks underneath them like that to go ahead and create your tracks. We then want to take our dark oak wood. We're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 top slabs across. And we're going to go ahead and place down another brick upside down stair again on this side. And we're going to do the same thing we did for the tracks, just over here to the side. So again, whatever you did on the other side, you're going to go ahead and just do over here. And it's going to bring us all the way back to back here. Now, after that's done, we're going to go ahead and take our dark oak slabs. We're going to go ahead and fill in the space here in the middle of the tank. And we're going to go ahead and take this all the way back between these last grindstones. And then we're going to go and take our dark oak trapdoors and just place down a row of 3 across between those nether brick slabs. After you have that all squared away, that's going to really do it for that main section. And then also again underneath these grindstones, we're going to place down these nether brick full blocks. Also, again, we'll take our item frames and we're going to place them on the sides here of these grindstones. And we're going to place down green terracotta blocks in those item frames all the way down the side of the vehicle. So just like that on our tracks. And after we have that all done, that right there is going to conclude everything there is for layer 1. Let's move on to layer number 2. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 2. We're going to start this layer by placing down a green terracotta block on top of these narrow brick stairs, and then we're going to place down a dark oak trapdoor coming off the side of these blocks. We're going to go ahead and place down an item frame between or on the sides of those blocks, as well as a cobweb in those item frames. We then want to go ahead and also grab a dark oak wood button. We're going to place it here on the side of this block, and same thing over here. And then we want to take our dark oak wood slabs and build a row of 3 across in between there. We're going to go ahead and then place down a green terracotta block in the center. We'll go ahead and grab ourselves some of our stripped spruce wood blocks. We're going to place down one to both sides of that green terracotta block. And then we're going to take our green terracotta and just place down a row of 3 behind that. We're going to go ahead and place down a second, 3, 4, 5, and a total of 6 rows of 3 of green terracotta going back down the center of the build. We'll then take our nether brick slabs. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4 top slabs, then 1, 2, 3 half slabs, and then a slab on the back. Same thing over here. Just like that. Then we want to go ahead and place down an item frame here, here, and also here. We're going to go ahead and take our green terracotta. We're going to place them down in those item frames. And if you're on Java, we can go ahead and make them look a little bit better by placing a dark oak wood sign on the side of the nether brick slab where the item frames are located. And it just kind of helps blend the item frames in a little bit better with the build. And you can take that same thing and do it over here to this side. Again, a little side note there, if you're not on Java, you'll not be able to place down item frames and signs in the same block space. If that's the case, just go ahead and place down the item frames and disregard the signs. So that's what it looks right there, like that from the side. After we have that done, go ahead and go into the back now. We're going to go ahead and just place down a Bruce pressure plate coming off the back here, and then a zombie head on the sides here of these slabs, like that. And with that all done there, that is going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 2 of the build. And with that, we'll be going ahead and move on to layer number 3. So before we go ahead and move into layer 3, one quick thing I want to go ahead and throw on for layer number 2 is going to be the addition of an item frame on this middle dark oak wood slab here in the front, and a tripwire hook in the item frame facing upwards like so. So just make sure you go ahead and throw that on like that. After we have that all done, we then want to go ahead and take our dark oak trapdoors. We're going to place down 1, 2 here, 1, 2 here on the sides on those nether brick slabs, and then an item frame on these slabs or on the trapdoors going forward. In those item frames, we're going to place down snowballs. And if you're on Java, we're also going to place down a green carpet that's going to sit on top of these blocks here. With that all done, we then want to go ahead and place down a spruce button on top of these 2 blocks here. And then we're going to place down a row of 3 of just green terracotta across the space here. We'll place down an item frame there in the center, and we'll then grab ourselves a black bed, place down a black bed in the item frame, rotate it sideways, and then we're also going to place down a spruce wood sign on the side of that block as well, so it looks like that. With that done, we're going to take a green terracotta. We're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 5 across. This is going to be followed up with a second row of 5. Then we're going to place down a row of 3, a second row of 3, and we're going to go ahead and stop right there after 2 rows of 3. Now on the right side, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 mossy cobblestone walls, and on the left side, it's going to be the same thing actually. So again, 2 mossy cobblestone walls. Now at this point here for our exhaust, we're going to place down 2 dried kelp blocks, and then a wither skeleton skull on the end there. And the space that's going to be in the center here, we're going to go ahead and place down a end rod that's going to sit on top of these 2 green terracotta blocks and a spruce wood trapdoor there in the center. On the left side here, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood trapdoor and a green carpet. Now with that all done, that is going to basically form that up on the back. And if you are on Java and want to add a little bit more extra detail here, for some vents, we're going to place down item frames behind or on the side of the blocks behind the end rods. And then we're going to place down some iron bars in those to create those vents there. So again, that's going to be a Java feature, again, placing the item frame in the block space of the end rod there. Anyway, so with that all done, that is going to wrap up what we have there for that. If you do want to have the doors kind of, or the side panels kind of opened up, you can also do that. To do it very simply on the green terracotta and mossy cobblestone walls, we're going to place down 4 trap doors right along the side here. If you do not want to have these doors opened out to the sides, very simply, you just don't place them. And we'll talk about that when we get into the next layer. But that right there is going to conclude what we have for layer 4. And with that, layer 3. With that, let's move on to layer 4. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 4. For layer 4 to get started with here, we're going to place down a green terracotta block that's going to be on the center block like so. We're going to go ahead and then place down one more back from that. After we have that all finished there, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak wood trapdoor. That's going to come off this green terracotta block. And then we're going to place down a trapdoor on top of this block, open it forward, trapdoor here, open that forward. We then want to place down a trapdoor on the side of these trapdoors, so like so. And then we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence gate here, open up toward the green terracotta block, here also, and open up toward the green terracotta block. And then we're going to place down a mossy cobblestone wall coming off the side there of that fence gate. Now, at this point here, when you have your trapdoors, if you are doing the trapdoors open, very simply, we'll take a lever. We're going to place down a lever here on this trapdoor, and then two stone pressure plates, and then a lever. For this side, though, if you do want this side closed, so for example, for the build, we'll do this side closed. We're going to place down a trapdoor coming off this wall, then a trapdoor here, and then two trapdoors right here, again, all closed. So you're going to sit flat there against the side of the vehicle. So again, if you want the side closed or if you want the side open, both of those are going to be your options there for the interior of this build. Now we're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves some stone, and we're going to go ahead and replace these two middle blocks here with stone. So we're going to swap those blocks out there. However, after that, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak wood fence gate, and then an acacia wood trapdoor coming off the fence gate, like so. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then place down an end rod. It's going to be on top of these walls here. And then we want to go and take our pressure plates, place down 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, and 1 right here. And we can also take our stone blocks also if we really want to and place them underneath these fence gates just to kind of help, again, keep that stone color a little bit more consistent throughout the build. But we can do that as well there. Now, after that is done, we then want to go ahead and take our green shulker boxes, and for our ammo boxes, we're just going to go ahead and place down a row of 5 green shulker boxes all the way across the back here, as well as dark oak trapdoors. They're going to be wrapped around the sides of those shulker boxes and will be opened or closed, however you want to refer to this, against the side there of those green terracotta blocks. So pretty straightforward stuff there. So that right there is going to finish that, and also again on top of this wall here, you'll also have that pressure plate. So again, you have your closed side, you have your open side. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to do there for the tank, but it's pretty nice because you do get some flexibility on your display and stuff like that of it. Anyways, though, that is going to wrap up what we have there for layer number 4, and with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our last 5 layers, layers 5, 6, and 7. Moving into our next layer, we have layers 5, 6, and 7. For these layers to start with, we're going to place down a stair here, and then we're going to place down a trapdoor coming off the front of the stair. We're going to then place down an anvil on both sides of the stair, as well as a polished black stone upside stair coming off the anvil going forward, and then a dark oak fence gate to both sides. We're going to go ahead and also place down an end rod coming off those fence gates, as well as a withered skeleton skull here on the tip of the end rods like that for your 20mm cannons. We then want to go ahead and place down a what is going to be a fence gate like this coming off the stair, as well as a withered skeleton skull coming off those blocks or coming off those anvils. If you're on Java, we're also going to go ahead and place down an item frame on the sides of these the fence gate here, and we're going to go ahead and place down cobwebs in those item frames. Again, that's going to be a Java only feature. On top of this trapdoor, we're going to place down another trapdoor, open it like this toward the back, so you have a seat there for your gunner. After that's done, up on top here, we're going to place down a polished blackstone wall on top of the anvils. And then we want to go ahead and grab ourselves redstone repeaters, and we're going to place down 2 repeaters on top of each one of these polished blackstone stairs, and we're going to go and separate the repeaters so that they create this design here. Then after that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a fence gate. It's going to be above this trapdoor. We're going to open the fence gate toward the front, as well as an end rod going back from the fence gate, and then a polished blackstone, or sorry, rather a dark oak wood upside down stair like this. On top of that dark oak wood upside down stair, we're also going to place down a redstone repeater and separate the notches apart like so. We'll also place down a dark oak wood sign on the left side of the stair and the left side only. Once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and grab our banners. We're going to place down a green banner that's going to sit on top of this trapdoor, and you want this banner at a slight angle like that to the sides. And that center banner is going to be a bit of a different design. We're going to go ahead and need to grab some materials for it, so I'm going to go and grab those and I'll show you guys how to make it. So really simple when it comes to making that banner for the center. It's going to be a green banner, 1 black die, 1 green die. We're going to go into our loom, we're going to place down a green banner and our black die. We're going to do a line that goes vertically through the center of the banner like so. and with black, and we're going to go ahead and grab that, put it back into our loom. We're going to go ahead and place down a green die. We're going to go ahead and do the lower half green across the banner so you get this little slit there in the middle. And once you have that done, that's going to go ahead and sit on this fence gate, just like that, to go ahead and create the gun shield that goes around the guns, and that's going to finish off the guns there. Now for the back, pretty simple. We're just going to go ahead and place down an end rod on top of these ones here, as well as a end rod that's going to sit on top of the green choker boxes like so. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves our spruce fence gates. We're going to place down 3 across, and we're going to open these 3 toward the rear of the vehicle. We lastly want to go ahead and grab green carpet on top of the end rods, and the fence gates, we're going to place down green carpet, just like that. And after you have that all done right there, that is going to wrap up my design here for the Type 98 Shokai Japanese self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put to good use. If you do use this build, this can be you can use it on any roles you're working on, as long as you guys give me credit for it. This can be a sign on the build or a link to my video or this channel. And all that, as long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free to use it for a project you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. And with that, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is me, WW2, and I'll see you guys next time.